far as a little technical check, Holloway's, I want y'all to talk, and can y'all tell me if y'all see their screen pop up and not us?
Okay, okay, testing. Is our screen popping up or is it still split screen? It's still splitting? Or is it our screen only?
I wonder if it's my computer because I don't see anything yet.
Oh, you don't see anything? Oh.
Okay. Yeah, I see
just
a split
see
screen.
TH. Like I don't see.
Oh goodness.
Okay. You probably have
that's different.
Your video might be turned off. Well, no, your video is on, so I can see you.
Right.
So I don't know.
Pearl, what are you seeing?
I can see you and Vaughn. I can see Jamal and Ashley, and I see Deidre. Hey there,
Okay.
Deidre.
I'm gonna try this one thing. What about that? You don't like that?
No.
It's not making my head blow up.
We out in a nice vista. All right, we're just gonna go with how it is.
All right.
Let me take this off.
It's a lot of sun.
That's the Lord.
I know you get this thing off. No.
It's the light. It's not that bad. We can see. I can see myself. Now.
I was just trying to see if I turned it the right way.
That's fine.
That's what I need.
Yes,
background.
You can just make a background on Teams, but we had to download this to your computer.
Oh no. Oh no.
All right. All right, let me try to turn it off, y'all. Give me a second. Be patient.
I'll go.
All right.
Because you talk more than me.
Mm-hmm. I think that might be the better way. All right. We've done enough with technology. We've had our prayer. We are so excited this day. This is the fulfillment of many prayers by us and certainly by the Halloways and by their family. Today, if you don't know, we are blessed to have the Halloways on, and they, even in their infancy in the marriage, they thought it well to begin a marriage ministry at Riceville Baptist Church, and they named it the Three Strand Marriage Ministry. And so it began all of the fellowship and all of the learning that we enjoy even today. And specifically this morning, what they're going to talk about, and we congratulate them openly. Oh, we're just so happy for them, and that they have been able to pay off their mortgage. Woohoo!
Yay!
And,
some cartwheels.
Oh man, yeah, we're gonna see you do a cartwheel.
I can still do a cartwheel.
and so they're gonna tell us how they did it, some of the trials, some of the happy parts, some of the ups, some of the downs, and they're gonna allow you all, as you know how we do it, we're gonna be able to ask some questions, and they're gonna give us the real about how it was smooth and how sometimes it was rough, because I just know how they are. They're going to give you all the real. So without any further ado, we give you the Halloways.
Yay.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
And more important, thank you for even asking us, to do it, but we really appreciate that.
Yes. So the question, we have a story, so we have a limited amount of time. Let's see, what time does it end? 9 o'clock?
Yeah, about 10 minutes before 9, but give us 10 minutes before 9 so we can
Okay, no problem. So I guess we'll start with I'm gonna start first because my piece will be a little shorter than his. How did I look at that? I just figured I'm gonna pay my bills on time and they'll get paid once they get paid. I figured I'll work to the age of 65 and retire because I saw my parents do it. And I just thought that's just what life was. Just pay your bills on time. And once they're paid off, they're paid off. However long that takes is just how long it takes. That's how I came into this marriage.
Okay. Is that all you want to say?
That's all
Okay.
That's how I'm gonna start it.
Okay. So before my wife and I got married, I had a very traumatic view of debt. My parents, they lost their house because they couldn't pay their bills, whatever. My dad had a car business and it got heavily in debt, and it was like a domino effect of bad things happening. You know, he lost his business, and then we lost the house, and then a lot of arguments with my parents. Things happened, and life just was a lot harder for my parents than it had to be. That was number one. I guess it started out traumatic for me, like what debt was before I even knew what a mortgage was when I was younger. And then secondly, after knowing that, I said, okay, I'll make sure I have pay my debts off and things like that and have good credit. And so my next experience with like having like a bad traumatic event with debt in my life was Hurricane Katrina, because what happened was, I came to Texas and I had like two low credit cards, whatever, had two low credit cards. And although I should have taken a loan from the government, I did not. I was using my, credit cards just to survive, and I maxed them out. I maxed those credit cards out, and then they got, they cut closed down. And then one thing I hated the most about it was the debt collectors. And so I don't know if anybody's on the call has been having debt collectors, but that can be very traumatic and annoying, and just like, oh my gosh, literally like almost every hour on the hour, I had people calling me asking for money when I want to pay this, when I'm gonna pay that. Even when we were in the dating phases of my wife, she thought I was seeing another woman. Because my phone would start ringing, and it was just debt collectors always calling me from different debt collectors, for credit cards, things like that. And during that time, even before I met her too, I had read like books on how to get out of debt. Like it wasn't Dave Ramsey, this is before anybody thinks, but it wasn't him. I wasn't on him yet, but I read other debt books about how to get out of the debt and things like that, and I learned about the debt snowball, before I even knew about who Dave Ramsey was from other books. And then so I started reaching out to my collectors and calling them and telling them, what I was going to do, what I wasn't going to do. And then I was able to get out of that. And then after that, because of, the traumatic event of just having, just being uncomfortable, not being able to pay your bills, I said, I don't want to be in debt at all. Everything I want to pay off like immediately, quickly, is like, because the thing is, life can happen just like hurricane. Because I was like, before Hurricane Katrina, I was good. I wasn't owing no money. I didn't, I wasn't like irresponsible with my credit cards and things like that. It's just an emergency happened, and it forced me to, do that. And I didn't have a job at the time because I lost my job because of Hurricane Katrina at that time too. And so I said, I don't really want to be in that again. And so I said, I still had student loans as well. I had a car note. And then, while dating her, so I said, okay, I want to pay this off as quickly as possible. So the very first thing, I had to do is get a job. Mm-hmm. And so I started working at Comcast at that time. And I was even telling her, because you heard her philosophy.
Yeah, my thing was, you work, you pay your minimum balance, and you just keep on going until it's paid off. No rush. That's just.
I said, we were courting at the time, and I said, you know what? How about before we get married, we pay off our student loans? I said this, and she wasn't having that.
Like, what? No, I'm I'm paying out because the only debt I had was student loan debt. And I had a lot of student loan debt. So there was no way possible for me to pay it off before we got married. I don't know how long that was going to take, especially with me paying the minimum, because that's all I was going to pay.
Yeah, and so like I was coming again. I'm coming from a traumatic mindset because I had them calling me too. That's that Sally made them, and they would call and say, "Why don't we just pay? I pay off yours. We work together. Then we get married. You can say, well." She's like, "Nope, no, I mean, honestly, I say at that time my wife was more wise. I mean, just get married. In my opinion, we should have got married. And so then after we got married, we had this discussion again. I was like, babe, I want to pay off our debts quickly, and then we bumped heads again.
That talking about finances in our house was like, it was just, I don't know. We just went at it. It was stressful. I hated talking about finances because it just caused too much tension in the house. To me, I felt like I was a saver and he was a spender.
That's
and
not the case.
It's not, but at the time, that's what it felt like. And it was like, I wanted to save because I like to be prepared for emergencies. And to me, it seemed like he wanted to just spend. But go ahead.
So it's notable. Let's unpack some of this here. This is, man, I'm telling you, this is a wonderful exchange that y'all having. And what I love about you now is what I've loved about you from the first time we met and the first time we joined this ministry is how real you are with the real life. I guess we're gonna call them problems within a marriage. I mean, this is the reality of it. You got two people coming together. You have different philosophies, and the number one reason for strife in a marriage is finances, and you're just hitting on it all in your young marriage. Now, you talked about Katrina, Gemayal. I want you to, because I don't think we give enough credence to how it feels. How did it feel in the middle of that crisis when your financial world wasn't in order? How did that make you feel?
I felt desperate. Even though I did at the time, I was staying with my auntie, and I was staying with my auntie. I still have family, but I still have my own expenses, and I really just felt desperate. It's like I still had like getting a car note, and that's one thing I never wanted to have. They have a threat of I paid that on time. I found a way to pay my car note. That's something I say. I didn't have a house, but if one bill will get paid during that time of Katrina, that's my car note, and I felt that was the only thing that I can really just pay on time. And then my second thing I said I prioritize is my phone. I said I need to have a line of communication with my mom. My mom at the time, she was in Atlanta, Georgia, and so I made my car note and my cell phone. So I found ways to do what I had to do to make that. But the feeling was just desperate. I couldn't do anything, helpless. And the thing about it was, one crazy event like that can really throw your financial upside down. Because again, I had a job in New Orleans. I was paying I was comfortable. I mean, I was like, Hurricane Katrina happened when I was, I think, 21 years old. Mm-hmm. And so I was comfortable in my finances. I wasn't like balling or nothing like that, but I was comfortable. And then that one event just knocked like
you
that,
out.
just knocked me out.
Now let me ask a rudimentary financial question because I have to. Now, did you have an emergency fund before that emergency happened?
I had I wouldn't call it a big emergency fund. I had a savings account. Yes, I did have a savings.
Well, let me ask a better. Yeah, you're right. Let me ask a better question. Did you have 6 months of living expenses saved up?
No.
And see, that was me. I was the one with the savings.
Right. No. And I want to get to you, Ashley. So thanks for jumping in. I want you to elaborate on, because you made the point that you felt like he was spending haphazardly, but from what I'm hearing is he's trying to pay off debt.
Right.
So talk about that and how that felt for you as a wife.
Well, see, I didn't really know he was paying off debt. To me, he was just, I don't know. I just felt like, why would you put all this money in, when we could be saving the money? Why would you want to put a big lump sum on a debt that who cares? It's gonna get paid. We're paying the monthly bills. It's not late. We're not, you know, we're getting it on time. So I just felt we needed to have the cushion in case something happened like a Katrina, in case something happened like somebody lost a job.
Right.
And so until he started paying off debt, like when he paid our mattress off, because you know we had an expensive mattress. He paid that off. I was happy. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm not gonna say anything, you know. And then after that, he paid something else off. I think a TV we had. It was just like little things.
Right. Because he was on that snowball.
Right. And I was still like, we're gonna pay the $50 a month.
Yeah,
you know?
mattress. I know, mattress. They have a deal like 5 years. You pay $50 a month, whatever, like that. I was like, okay, cool, that's a great deal and all, but I ain't trying to wait 5 years to pay off a mattress.
It just took him. I think it just took him kind of just doing it. You know, we could have talked about it all day, and I would have been like, still, no, let's pay the minimum. But I think once he just took over,
and you started seeing.
I started seeing.
So let's teach a little. So the debt snowball is where you take your lowest debt, your lowest amount, you're regardless of interest rate. You're just saying, okay, I owe the lowest on the mattress, as you said. I owe $1,200 on this mattress left. Let's knock this out, and then we're going to take the next highest debt amount. And then because of that, see that feeling that you had. So then you didn't even really know that he was doing the snowball, sounds like it. But you benefited from the feeling of getting things paid off.
Right. Absolutely.
And so I want to deal with this feeling about in finances a lot as you all talk, because I don't think this part gets talked about enough. See, you had a feeling of freedom and of stability because you started seeing things were being paid off. You didn't have that feeling when you just saw money leaving and it wasn't going into. You didn't necessarily see that the money was going into savings. Right. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes. Yes, because I wanted to see a big savings account.
You wanted to see a big savings account.
I didn't see that money growing. It was just like, you know, but I stopped. I let Gemayal handle all that. I was like, you know what? I don't want to even worry about these finances right now. Right. And once he started telling me stuff was getting paid off, I was like, oh, okay.
That's right. Now, one more question, Gemayal. Now, you're working, in my mind, it seems like you're working a program. Now, what caused you to work on debt before savings first?
Well, the thing is, we did, the books that I read, because I read some real estate books, it was real estate. And one of the things I was reading about the real estate, white guy, but he had a real estate program back in the day. But
was it Kiyosaki?
It wasn't Kiyosaki. It was this guy. He was before Kiyosaki, before Dave. Well, Dave
Carlton Sheets.
Carlton Sheets. It could have been him. I can't remember.
It's okay. It's all right. Go ahead.
But he had a big program. It was going on TV, and you get buy his book and all that stuff. And I bought his book. And I was reading, he talked about the debt snowball. Again, before I knew about Dave Ramsey. And so I read his program. He's like telling how to do that. And, I was like, okay, he had a step-by-step guide. I just followed the instructions. I was like, okay. I said, well, if it's in a book, then it makes, to me, it made mathematical sense. Why not just try it and see? And, what happened before I got married, I told you about the credit cards. I actually had 3 credit cards, right? And so, I had debt collectors calling me and all that stuff. But I used his, it said, one thing it said to do, if you have debt collectors calling you, call your collectors and work an arrangement out with them.
There you go.
Most people don't, do that. And they don't even they try to avoid their collectors or things like that. And so I said, all right, I'm going to try this. And so I called my creditors, my credit cards, and they already put me in collections. And I said, hey, I will pay you a certain amount if you promise to take me off of, collections and all that stuff. That's and in the book, I remember what it said. It said, ask them for a letter, like a letter. Send them. So I guess you have a copy. Because again, if they just say it over the phone and you don't get a letter, you have no legal recourse. So I did. I forgot the actual terminology what the letter is called. But I was literally like on the phone with this book, just going line by line. And they said, okay, you can do that. Okay, you want that? And most people don't know about that. And so they sent me a letter saying a promissory letter, whatever, saying that once I paid off this amount, that that they won't take it off, take off my credit, whatever. And so I had those letters in the mail. I said, okay, and I got a job, and I was still in New Orleans before I met Ashley, and I just paid it off. There you go. And then once I paid it off, it was not on my credit, which is crazy.
That's right.
It was. I was like, oh, actually, kept their word. I was this book actually. No,
well, that's right. Well, I mean, you did it all the right way, and you got that promissory note from them, so it was in writing. So, so the three things, the three highlights, some things that could have alleviated the pain, 6 months of expenses saved. We didn't do that, but we figured it out anyway. Debt before savings. This is important because we got to have an order to things. And if we're sitting there trying to stack up savings and we're still accumulating debt, then we're working against ourselves. And then make arrangements with debt collectors. Trust me, they don't get a lot of calls back. They make a lot of calls out, but there's very few that give a call back. And they're willing. I mean, we're Christians, so we want to pay our debts. We went out and bought that stereo system in my case, and we made the debt for it. So we want to pay back the debt, but we still can negotiate. So if we got $1,000 debt, we can say, hey, look, I want to pay you back $500 instead of $1,000, and I'll pay you on this payment schedule. I'll give you $100 a month for the next 5 months in lieu of. But I need a promissory note that says exactly what I'm saying, and that releases me of the other obligation in writing. So you did everything fantastically, man. I applaud you, Gemayal. Now continue. I broke in there because there was just so much teaching moments there. I didn't want us to miss it. Now keep going with your financial journey story.
Okay, but so that helped me out there. My credit wasn't impacted. And then after that, what I didn't ask, I guess, this is like a little detail, because I over the phone, I said, okay, if I pay it off, would you restore, like, give me that same credit card back? And after I paid off the debt, they didn't give me a credit card. They just said, you paid off the debt, we're done with you. They didn't want to do business with me no more.
That should have been a glory hallelujah moment. They blessed you.
I was like, oh man, I thought I was gonna get. I filled my end of the bargain. I thought you wanted to do business, continue to do business with it. Nope, we buy. We did our part, our legal part. That's it. And so, dramatic event, because having debt collectors called me, it was just no debt. And so we got married. And then going back to the part, we were married. I remember we were in the car on what was the car? No, Independence. We had this. We were going to our parents' house, just talking about it. And again, she was like, I remember her words almost verbatim. She was like, Gemayal, everybody's gonna be in debt. You just pay your debt off, and you pay your debt. You never want to get out of debt. You're gonna stay in debt. I was like, what? We was like bumping heads again. I was like, no, what? And so I said, all right, fine. That's what you think. Yeah, I'm just gonna be quiet. And then we talked about it one more time. I said, can I just handle the finances in our marriage? Can we agree for that? And we had that conversation. She said, all right, I'll trust you, and a little bit. And then again, like she said, once I paid off the mattress. And she didn't even know it was paid. I just told her, I was like, the mattress is paid off. He said, oh, okay. And the other day, I said, the next day, I said, I forget, it was like a TV, like some furniture we bought. I was like, I probably had that paid off in like, maybe 2 months, because now I have more money from the mattress to go to the, if it plus, so I paid it up in a couple months, basically a short amount of time than what the loan was for. There's another thing. We got furniture while we were married. We got those interest-free furniture, like something like that. And I definitely wanted to beat out interest too.
Right.
And I was like, I wanted just they gave us 6 months. I'm gonna pay it off in 4.
Yep.
So
I was still
good for you.
then Ivan came along, And so
that's
when
story.
children come, that's more money. That's debt. He had to be in a NICU for about, I guess, a week maybe. And so that's
That was a big
bill.
debt.
The anesthesiology bill was crazy. I think it was like $28,000 or something like that. Might have been more than that. But you know me, minimum payments. I was like, there's no interest.
Yes. Oh my God. I was like,
paying like $50
I was like,
a month.
I was so, yeah, she was like, I'm just gonna pay. I remember what she said about this too, about that medical debt. She said, yeah, I'm just gonna pay $50 a month. I'm like, why? He's like, I don't care, Gemayal. I have my house, I have my car, $50 a debt. I mean, $50 a month, that's all they gonna get from me. I was like, what? Why? They brought our son into this world because I'm thinking like Christian mindset, and at the end of the day, they brought our son into the world. I mean, it's expensive, it's just what it is. But I want to pay them because if it wasn't for the doctors and nurses and everything like that, and the NICU, our son wouldn't be here. So I want to pay them their money.
So let's take a moment here. Now, did you all have insurance at that time?
Yes, we did.
We had insurance, and I thought it was good insurance.
All right.
And your out of pocket was $28,000.
Yes, that bill was. But I think
we again, I have to call my wife out on this one. We both had insurance. I had Comcast insurance. She had her nursing insurance, right? She was a nurse. She automatically thought that because she was a nurse, her insurance was just better, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she just automatically. But
I had Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Yeah, she just automatically thought
which is usually good, right?
But
right.
But with the what's that needle called? What?
The anesthesia.
Yeah,
epidural.
Epidural. All right, her insurance did not cover the epidural.
Right, that was the part that got us.
Her insurance didn't cover the epidural, and some other things her insurance did not cover. The thing about it was, we found out my insurance covered all that stuff.
Right.
So, but if we were under my insurance, we wouldn't have to pay that much. But it was just some things that it was some fine print stuff that her insurance, and that's why it was that high. But I said,
and let's take this moment too. So when we have dual insurance like that, you know that it's so traumatic, man. When you're having a baby or anything that's medical related, I mean, it's a tough time for you. That's where you really need an advocate. And I'm gonna raise my hand right now. Hey, y'all, if you ever going through something tough and you just want somebody to talk to that caseworker at the hospital, I don't even have to know what you're going through medically. Y'all call Brother Young. I'll come there and I'll talk to that caseworker and deal with things in this wise. Not trying to get in your money, not trying to get in your business. I just don't want you taken advantage of in such a tough time. It's hard to do what you said, Gemayal, which is handle the finances, and you got your wife on the bed. You worried about that, and it's emotional. You're having your first child. So what I want you to deal with is, Vaughn, you come on in, Vaughn. You might have better advice than I do. Go ahead, Vaughn.
Good morning.
Hey, darling. God bless you. We love you, dear. We've been thinking about you.
Thank you.
Prayer's been going up
over here. But you got me when you said advocate, man. That's all I was for my daddy. I was his eyes, his ears, his voice, his brain, his pain meter. Because when you were under that, I call it microscope, stethoscope, you ain't thinking about nothing but how they along.
Right.
Only imagine that is not the time to be talking insurance coverage. My God.
And that's right, sis. That's right, sis.
Think right then, your body is going through trauma.
And your mind and your spirit. I mean, every part of you is being tested in that moment. Gemayal, sis Vaughn just her father just transitioned a couple weeks ago, so she just and so call me as an advocate. I'm sure, Vaughn's has already gone through some things. I'm sure she doesn't mind you picking up the phone and calling her, and there could be others. This is what I want to say on it. When you talk to that caseworker, you ask them, listen, ma'am, we have 2 coverages. You know which one will be the best for us. We want to come out of here paying the least amount. We have Blue Cross Blue Shield, and we have what was Comcast insurance?
I think it was Aetna or something.
Aetna, and we have Aetna. This is the lay of the land for us. Which insurance should we go with, or should we go with Aetna in the lead and Blue Cross Blue Shield is trailing for other coverages? Please advise us. And then that caseworker is duty bound to advise on those matters. She's not just that lady that and it's typically a lady, that lady that, you know, the one that asks for your card, that she's not just a secretary. She's actually a caseworker. She has knowledge. And if she doesn't have it, she can go and get it. So this is how I'm talking right now, the urgency in my voice and the seriousness of my voice is how you need someone in your camp that's going to talk in insurance nurses. Thanks, sis. You need someone in your camp, and it may not be you, beloveds. That's what I wanted. I mean, you're going through. So that's what a ministry is about. Call Brother Young, call Sister Vaughn. Maybe there's others too that we can call in this ministry. We're not trying to get in your business. We just don't want you. We don't want you coming out of a birth of your child with a $28,000 bill and you got 2 forms of insurance. That's not right, and it's not fair. But go ahead with your
Yeah, I mean that was basically so we ended up paying more for that because we didn't know. We were young, our first child, and you just this is what happened. And
yes, so yes, sir.
And then after that, of course, I think honestly, my wife at that time too. She the reason why she wanted to pay $50 a month. She was more so angry that we got.
Right, I was mad too that we got charged that much.
Yeah,
of course.
We had insurance. Both of us had insurance, and then we found out later that my insurance would have covered all the stuff that her insurance didn't cover. So,
and I think for some reason I remember calling the bill collector, telling them, "Hey, we can't afford $28,000." For some reason, I believe I called them, and I know we still have to pay a big amount, but I think they knocked it down. I don't know how much, but I don't think we had to pay the entire $28,000.
Yes, ma'am. So that's back to that same thing. Any debt like that, you can call you can call him before it gets to the bill collector. And I want to say you can call your insurance company. So this is their responsibility to say, hey, look, we're getting charged $28,000 on the Blue Cross Blue Shield side. We've got Aetna and we've got Blue Cross Blue Shield. You guys must get together and advocate on our behalf. This is too much money. And that's when the insurance company is duty bound to get in and negotiate with the hospital to come up with a better rate for you all. You're not asking them to do something extra. This is their job to do that. I get all passionate. I'm grabbing the mic and stuff like I'm grabbing the mic like I'm rapping, Jamal.
Yeah, that's fine though. But what you're speaking of is true, and then get especially people. I think the younger people in general, whether you're married or not,
younger people and older people. Yeah,
you go through this, and if you go through it by yourself, you end up paying more than what you had to probably. So you're right. I wish we did have somebody we could have reached out to and just say, hey, what would you do in this situation? Because we end up paying more than we had to. For sure.
Yes, sir. Von Coleman just said you can also dispute the charges with both the insurance company and you can dispute the charges with the hospital. So you have that avenue too.
Didn't know that, but that's good to know now. That's good to know.
Hey, Jamal and Ashley, I just wanted to get a picture of how much debt you were sitting at with this time. So at the time that you had your son, had you all already purchased your home?
Yes.
Okay. So at that point, can you give us a ballpark of how much debt you had with regards to the home mortgage plus this $28,000 in medical bills plus any other
student loans,
outstanding debt?
So $28,000 in medical. House is $150,000. Her car was $26,000. Student loan debt, I think she was at $50,000, and I might have been at I say 55,000. I think I don't have the exact numbers. And then let's see here. Then we have furniture because we want to fill the house up, with some furniture. That was low, but still it was probably at the very most, probably $5,000 or $6,000 in furniture and mattress and all that stuff. We got all that in there. So again, I think that might be it that I can remember.
So we had 55,000
credit cards.
Oh yeah, we had credit card debt too, but we
were paying off the credit card bills.
Yeah, we paid the credit card. We kept that pretty
go.
low. Yeah, so that we weren't that high on that.
So what I had, how much debt in student loans?
I think you had about 50, probably even 60,000, but you had to hire debt with your nursing degree, and I know that.
Yep.
So, and then I had like mine was like I think 55,000, and so this is all the debt we had, and this is what we when we first got married.
So you were looking at 314 grand in debt with the house and 164 without. And that's not uncommon. That's not uncommon. In fact, it's worse now. I mean, the student loan, the tuition is just abysmal. It's outrageous right now. And as you know, house prices are higher right now. So you were at, so people would be taking out even more mortgages. So you were at 314 with the house and 164K in debt without the house.
Yeah, so
included.
So I'm pretty sure what most people looked at that is, they look at debt, it's like, oh, it's just big, like you just said, that big number. But because of the book I had, I always looked at it as the smallest debt to the next debt, just keep going that way. That's how, no matter how much debt we had, I always looked at it from that. And like,
that's right.
To me, it's like a video game. Like, it's level 1, then I'll beat level 1, level 2. Level 2 might take a little bit longer because it's harder, but over time you learn to play that level and you beat it, and that's really how much to look at that. But I was really intentional, and then I said, babe, then what? This is one thing that we'll move on. It was I saw a case of another couple. I think they were on the news or something, and they were a young Black couple too. Oh no, a little bit older than us, I think, and they made less money than we were making. Because she was a nurse, I worked at the company, and they were debt free. They had a house, they had 2 cars, and they were debt free. I was like, babe, this couple I saw, they make less money than we do, and they're out of debt. So I know that we can do
doable.
It's doable because we make more money than them. So we just, come together with a plan. And then after that, because our finances, we started to merge our financial mindset. It was coming together because. Because we had 2 different mindsets of how debt. After she saw what things that did get paid off, so we came up with the thing was okay. We'll put most of my money, like we'll hold back. We'll intentionally put most of my save 50% of her money, but everything else went toward the debt. All my money went toward the debt, and so we were saving while we were paying off debt. So holding back 50% of her paycheck, and then everything else was going toward debt. And we were just like, and the other that, when I say like the student loans, it was just everything. It's just like going real fast. Like, like we were just like knocking them out. Student loans, it went by fast. A car first. Yeah, we paid it off so fast. Then after that, student loan, one of her loans paid off fast. Mine fast, and like we just making extra payments. And I really want to get those student loans are really a ripoff. Actually, because this is why I said ripoff, not because of what they're in addition to what they're charging, the interest on mine.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, I think I took a picture of it, like a snapshot of my debt, right? I said I paid off this amount, and then next month, the interest almost popped it back up to where it was when I paid. I was like, God, dog.
That's right. Because there's so much interest in those student loans, right?
I had to pay this off even faster. So I said, let's pay this off. I put more money in it just to pay it off.
Yeah. And we around here calling, we have a habit of calling student loans good debt. Well, that doesn't seem like that feels so good, right?
They put more interest on it. They were trying to work against us, with the student loans.
That's
and finally paid that off. And then finally we got to a point where we paid off everything. Like we paid off
man.
Everything except the mortgage, right?
Yeah, you were debt free except for the mortgage. And how did that feel?
That felt good.
It felt good to know that's all we had,
Yeah. And Ashley, I see you kind of. I like the way you're smiling right now. There's something behind that smile, I believe. Let me investigate a little bit. So, would you say that Gemayal earned your financial trust as you started seeing these debts getting paid off?
Yes, he did. He started earning it until, but there was a but. There's a but.
Yeah. So okay.
Well,
okay. I'll let you tell your point of view, and I'll go ahead.
Well, so he had earned my financial trust to the point where he had a store, Amazon store.
Yeah.
And doing some. Jamal always like to do this entrepreneur business, and that's a whole nother topic because
me too. Yeah.
We had two different mindsets on that because when, like I said, my mom and dad worked. They worked till they could retire.
Yes, ma'am.
And so that's all I knew was to work. Right. My dad didn't really start doing construction and building houses until later. Right. Like I'm almost a senior in high school, so still the entrepreneur mindset is not in me. It's just work. And Jamal always had the entrepreneur mindset, and so he tried to find side jobs, and he found Amazon, and he was doing it. And I didn't ask him any questions. I didn't, I want to stay out of his business, but I'm thinking, okay, I'm just watching. I'm a watcher. And so one day he comes and says something like, "This is how we had dinner." And he tells me something about this is how much money. Look at this. He showed me his phone, and he said, "This is how much money I'm making." I said, "What?" Like it was a whole bunch of money from Amazon. Right. And I was like, "Is this legit, Jamal? Are you like, because I didn't want to be in no scams. I didn't want to cheat people. None of that. I didn't want my name part of anything illegal. And I just did not believe it. And so I was like, Jamal, if this is illegal, I just don't want any part of this. Like, please, are you for real? This is real." And he was like, "Yeah, and the house could be paid off in 3 months or something." Wow. Whatever the kind of money it was just like crazy. Right. And so I said, okay, and I trusted him. And then
no, just tell the trick. The checks I was writing you go pay
I don't remember the checks.
Oh, see, you remember the best part.
Oh, what was the best part? He was writing me big checks to go pay off the mortgage. That's what he was doing. He was writing big checks.
I write because we had 2 banks. We had Unity Bank here, and I had a business account with them, and I feeling real good. So I write $20,000 check. Hey, man, go deposit in the Wells Fargo account.
Right.
That wasn't too good. It's some mistakes were made. So what happened was with that was,
you were doing drop shipping.
Yeah, I was doing drop shipping. And
Amazon drop shipping. Yep.
Yeah, Amazon drop shipping. So it was really working well. And so that I was making money. And then I said, you know what, this is working, almost by itself without me doing anything. So let me invest in another business. And I invested and I took a loan for that. Like it was like a $40,000 loan.
$40,000.
And that business completely just
it was a scam.
It was a scam.
40,000. Can y'all imagine how you feel to lose 40,000? Give somebody.
And that was Now it was interesting. I'm looking at, and I guess I'm just trained this way because I look at the brow in my wife's eye. Like I never want her to be upset by something I'm doing, and I'm noticing you go from happiness, Ashley, to upset. You're actually going through the emotions of these times. It's interesting. It's notable. Do you realize, Ashley, that you forgot about the check? That you forgot about those $20,000 checks of income that was going into paying off debt? But you remembered, you knew exactly how much money was lost.
Yeah.
So that was a traumatic experience. Well, let me ask the question. So how did that make you feel losing that type of money?
Well, I was sad. We was in the middle of a coronavirus. It was like 2020. It was just bad.
Yeah.
So
2019 was booming. And then 2020, it was like the Great Depression.
Yeah.
Because now everything hit at once. You had that coronavirus, everybody's going through that. And my business, that other business I invested in, that same, my Amazon at the time, for that Christmas, I was getting purchases so fast that my credit cards couldn't keep up.
Couldn't fill them.
Couldn't fill them because my credit cards was like, saying, they thought I was scamming too or something because they turned my credit cards off. That's I was like, I'm not scamming. Like I'm paying y'all, and they still turned it off because the transaction was just coming too fast with Christmas. I was like, and so then that tanked. My Amazon business tanked. Like
because you started getting the negative reviews.
Yeah, negative reviews. Yeah, because I couldn't keep up with the orders and
Right.
credit cards. And so then after that, I was like, oh my gosh. And then it took almost a year to get this done. But Amazon locked because I had like $23,000. Amazon just locked up for a year. It just locked it up. They said, no, we're not gonna pay you any more money because all these negative reviews. So it's like, and so then on top of that, my business was going. I lost my job at Comcast. I got laid off.
Yeah, bless you, man.
So I lost
Was
my
this
job.
before or after you paid off your mortgage?
This is before.
Before the mortgage.
We were on track to get ready to get it paid off.
We were actually on track. We were on track. Like I think we had like $40,000 left in our mortgage at this time because my business was like paying off the mortgage. We had like $40,000 left, so we would have paid.
No, we had more than that left.
60,000. We had at least 60,000 there.
I think we had about 60. It was between $60,000 and $70,000 left.
Yeah, and so paying off the mortgage, we're taking out big chunks. But then I thought when all that stopped, and everything crashed and burned like all at the same time, like
we had to refinance.
Right.
And so then we had to refinance the mortgage, because I guess what happened was we had so much debt, from my credit cards and that business, we had to freaking, refinance. So basically we started back where we were when we first got the house, in 2012.
We went back to $147,000. That's what we had to take out.
Refinance.
Right.
And so
that hurt because you was like, we were this close, and then we had to pretty much start over.
Yeah. And this is the journey. This is a true financial journey and a true marriage journey of ups and downs. And I just want to say, bless you to both of you, because these are the trauma type experiences that can cause husband and wife to butt heads to where they're not married anymore. So bless you for hanging in there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It wasn't really easy, but this is where
she was mad at me, boy. She was
but this is where my faith with both of us, God had to we really had to come on our knees and pray and just rely on our faith. At this point, we still had a house, we still had food, everything. We didn't miss anything. So we had to look at the positive side of it and just go with it, learn from it, maybe help somebody else, so they don't make the same mistake.
Bless you. And that's what you're doing now. Bless you.
And also, so that happened, right? And we refinanced it. And this is another thing, this is me in between jobs. Like, she had a stable job at, as a nurse, but I was in between jobs looking for something. And, I even, for a short period, I was even the debt collector. Just a job. I took a job as a debt collector. I worked at Centerpoint. I worked at Vivint Security. I was doing all these jobs just to find something stable and secure when I lost my job at Comcast. And so, but anyway, this is where our mindsets kind of collaborated, because since we had we had a nice savings account, right?
Yep.
Very nice savings account. This is how we got out of debt. So it was like 147,000. I think we had in savings probably like 100,000.
We didn't have 100,000.
90,000.
No. In savings?
2020, yes, we did. It was
we had about 50,000.
No, it was way more than that.
Oh, okay.
We had about at least because
you talking about in the Capital One?
In the Capital One account.
Well, I didn't know that much was in there.
Yeah.
Now, are you like? So I don't know if Gemayal, if you're employing this at all. I don't know, but I employ what I call hideaway budgeting, or I don't know. I came up with a name for it. Basically, I hide but don't hide money. I stash money away. Now, Yvonne has access to everything because we're a Christian family.
Same thing. Yeah, same thing.
She's got it on her phone. She can look it up. But I'll move money into these other accounts, and so that it's just building as a safeguard against us spending frivolously.
Yeah. And so
you want to talk about that, Queen?
Yeah, I call it him making me feel tight. So that was like when we were going through our debt pay down and paying off our mortgage. That was an adjustment that I had to make, because he would stash away. Well, either he would pull out much larger sums to pay down the mortgage, because at one point we were paying like 3 times the mortgage payment. So our mortgage payment was around $2,400 a month. There'd be some months where we would triple that payment just to accelerate the pay down. And as a result of tripling it, not only would he do that, but sometimes he would stash money away to the emergency fund, and I would feel tight, like.
And she would feel tight because it is tight. And sometimes, Ashley, sometimes I would miss. Like sometimes that Wednesday before the Thursday payday, we sitting at like $5 in the checking account because I didn't quite get it right. But hey, me a Copa, or sometimes I get an NSF in the checking account because I didn't, I kind of moved stuff a little bit too much. But the money was going to us. It wasn't like the money was going to some offshore, some scheme or something. It was going into paying down debt in that case. And now it's going, I still employed now, and now it's going to savings. But anyway, go ahead. And so that's because I'm just looking at Ashley. I'm looking at you explain it, and then I'm looking at Ashley is like she doesn't know it, but I know the type of man you are. I know you're not hiding money from her, but
but she has access to it as well. And so we had that amount of money in in a bank account at another bank, and so then after that was like we got the refinance in 2021. And that took care of that wiped up all our debts. That was great, gave us a little breathing room. Yeah. And after that, we just worked, just saving money between jobs. Me and I'm still putting money back. We still putting money back. And then finally, what happened was after putting the money back and paying like just the minimum, just letting them draft the minimum out. I told Ash, I said, honestly, babe, we have enough money in our savings account just to pay off, in our, like we will have enough just to pay off in one swoop, just like that. And we'll be out of debt and we won't have to worry about it again. So what happened was we just saved all the way up till we went past, I wanted to go past, 100.
Saved like, I think 90% of my check.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Amen.
Savings.
That's right.
And then after that.
The other 10% was for tithes.
Yep.
Yeah. And so after we got to that point, it was like 147,000 in debt. I said, babe, when we get to 153,000, we'll pay off. I'm gonna pay off the whole. I'm gonna tell Letty, right now, I'm gonna knock it out, just one swoop.
Right.
And then she's like, I don't know. I said, honestly, by my calculations, we should be the house be paid off in June. In June of this year, is how it's gonna be paid off by the amount of money that I'm making. Because the money I'm making is going toward our bills.
The bills. Yep.
Your money is going to that. Say we will have this house paid off in June. I don't know if she believed me or not.
I was just like, okay, I'm just watching. That's all. I'm not saying anything. Just watching.
I said because the thing is math is math. Whether you have money or not, math is math. And I calculated. I said if by the rate pace that we're going, we have the house paid off in June. And and so after that, I was like, cool. So we just kept working, doing our thing. And then finally, June came.
I was still like, you want to wait till December though?
She wanted to wait. She's like, because the thing is, like, she knew all the money that was in the bank account. She just wanted to hold on to. I was like, right. Even if we pay the house off, we still will have money. It's not really,
right.
It's not like because I'm paying out the house at 153, and then if by the time the house was like I think it's like 140,000 because we're making the regular small payments off, so we're gonna have we have a savings account. We good, so we have emergency funds, and plus we have not that we would want to use them, but we have access to credit.
Right.
In case an emergency happens.
So I want to get in here, because I've gone through this as a husband, where. See, I hear how you're talking, and I'm listening to Yvonne snicker, and I'm also being careful to look at Ashley's face. And you keep saying math, 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 and I'm analytical like that too, Gemayal. But what we probably could learn, I'll put it on me. What I can learn to do a better job of as a husband is feel. How does it feel? Yeah, I know math is math, but even though I'm moving. And for me, math is, okay, I'm moving X amount of money from here to here, from this account to this account. And for me, it's just math. But how does it feel is probably something that I can do a better job of. So how does that make you feel when I'm converting cash over here to cash over here, and I'm kind of shrinking our checking account and increasing our savings account. What does that do for you?
Like I said, at certain points, it would make me feel tight if you were moving too much over. And I just had to kind of wrap my mind around the fact that it was a temporary inconvenience for the long-term gain. You know, we had to be tight for a couple of years to really accelerate this. And you just had to keep thinking in the back of your mind, you know, this is just a temporary thing. Because like in my mind, I'm like, we're in our mid 40s. You know, I've been working for over 20 years. I want to, now is the time to splurge. You know, I've been, you know, I don't want to be living tight until I'm 50. Now's the time to splurge. But you just take that temporary setback, knowing that you make this sacrifice for the short term. And then for the rest of your years to come, you can have a greater sense of financial freedom and financial stability.
So tell us, Ashley, so do the same thing. How did you feel about the movement of money from account A to B?
Honestly, I didn't pay attention to it. Gemayal would just kind of come and tell me, like, I didn't even know he paid the mortgage off. He just, I guess, I don't even know what I was doing. And I think he got something happened. This is what happened. He needed
the signature.
Ashley, or he texted me or called me and said, Ashley, Capital One is going to call you. They need some information from you. They need you to approve something. I was going to try to surprise you, but I'm paying the mortgage off. And I was like, oh, you are? And then, and so I was like, okay. And I hung up the phone and I waited on the phone.
But what's interesting about it, and you know, as a ministry, y'all know, as a ministry leader, I'm trying to be objective here, but I'm also a husband, and I'm also a husband that seems to employ the same type of tactics. What I heard Gemayal say earlier was, babe, we're going to do this, this, and this in this amount of time. Here's the amount. And then when it happened, I'm hearing you say, what? Like did you not? Because Yvonne does that as well. So I want to kind of unpack it. Like, are you hearing, but you really don't want him to do it? Or are you not really receiving what he's saying at the time? Like, what's going on communication wise?
Well, I mean, he told me, but like I said, I'm just show me, I guess just do it. And I was like, I was happy. I mean, very excited about the, situation, but that's just how I responded when he called me because I wasn't thinking about it. I'm at work doing my own thing. Yeah. And he's like, you're going to get a phone call, And I was like, because he said, I was trying to surprise you, but I'm paying off the mortgage.
Yeah,
that's
right.
That was a good surprise.
Right.
I was like, oh, okay. And then so he called me and the Capital One called me and everything. And so that's what happened. And I was like, it feels good.
Yeah.
And the official day that everything went through is on August 5th of this year.
Bless you, man.
August 5th, I said June, but it officially got paid off. Like everything's cemented on August 5th.
Bless
and
you.
That's what. And I was like, it's finally over. Like,
right.
Yes.
Right. And tell me about this. So did you get the official release of lien yet?
No, that's one kind of, they gave us a temporary one, and I had to call them and get that's the
from the county and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we had to call them and get the official. Yeah, had to. So yeah, and so
man, be sure when y'all get that official document with all that legal lettering, and I want y'all to come back on and kind of show you can black out your business part, but I just this release of lien. I remember the day that we got that, it was like, oh my God, this is real. Like, because it has all this like old English type of legalese, be it known by all whereby, Carlos and Yvonne Young have been released of lien in said county and said date. I'm like, oh my God, this is real.
They gave us a paper like that, but it's just a copy.
It's a copy.
Right. But I don't know why, but the tactile feel of a piece of paper, even though we do a lot of electronic, it made me feel different. But how do you feel now? So it's like, you're sitting inside a paid off house. How does it feel?
Honestly, well, go ahead. You go first.
I think it feels good now, knowing that, okay, and I'll tell you, for everyone on the call listening in, I nursed for about 11 years, and I just couldn't do it anymore. It was
Bless you.
It was a mental thing for me. I couldn't take
I'm
it
hearing
anymore.
that a lot. Was the last straw the pandemic?
I'm not gonna blame it on the pandemic. It was some more personal issues.
Okay.
That it was just affecting my mental. And so I had to leave the nursing field. And I was so desperate at that time to get out. I was like, I'll do anything. I don't care at this point. Like, whatever. I had took a job. Pretty much it was just something because the house was paid off. So I said, you know what, Gemayal?
That's something?
This is just gonna be a little fun money. Just whatever. I mean, to get Trinity's hair done. That's the kind of money it was. It was no money at all. But at that point, I was like, I need my peace. And the house is paid off. And so, but God still blessed me with another job. I'm working from home. I'm doing medical insurance underwriting. And so
there you go.
Good income now.
Right.
But I'm not in nursing anymore. And it feels comfortable to know that, hey, we don't have any bills. So it's like, even if I had to take that job that's not paying me anything, it's like, okay, it's enough just to pay just some light bills or electricity bill or something like that.
Bless you.
Right.
Now, the coaching I got to give, if you haven't, is I need you to build up that emergency fund to 6 months of expenses. So your expenses are a lot less than they've ever been in your life now. But I want you to make sure you at least have 6 months of expenses and savings. Like now, so be as energetic, as dogged as you were about paying down debt, about getting that emergency fund savings back established.
Yeah,
okay,
that's
bless you.
Now.
Bless you. Bless you. All right, I want to open the floor up to questions. I just couldn't help it. I love it when the Halloways are on because I know they're going to be real, and I know I can interview them, and they're going to kind of, give y'all the real. Any questions from the Friars, from Deidre, from Vaughn, we got
Browns.
Yep, we got VB and Jeanette on, Jalita on, Tammy, anybody. They'll give you the real now. Here's your chance.
I think somebody did ask a question. Tammy, she said, "What I need to sell on Amazon?"
That's right.
Good morning. I was being sarcastic, but I do love your story and your diligence to commit to paying off your mortgage. But I love the story.
Oh, thank
Bless
you.
All right, any questions? Any non-sarcastic people from New Orleans type of questions?
I just wanted to say thank you for sharing your story. I just never have been in a lot of debt, so those numbers probably would have just my mind. And I do appreciate how y'all work together. Like, even though you were uncomfortable, you were still able to translate that where you and him could work together. And I appreciate it, just witnessing that.
Oh, thank you, Miss Coleman.
Thank you.
Miss Coleman. Who's Miss Coleman? Vaughn?
Coleman.
That's right.
Vaughn got elevated to Miss Coleman. Lord have mercy. You're going to blow her head up.
Can you accept yourself? This is business. Thank you. No, my husband is 10 years older than me. And so he always want to say he the financial guru. And my parents were older and practical, kind of like your parents. My parents worked. My dad had a lot of credit, but he didn't use it. But my mama used it and her credit. And I distinctly remember as a little kid, my dad was on strike. And my mother was poor, born in Arkansas, number 15, just give you a mindset. My mother went and furnished the whole house. And they got into on his credit. And they got the biggest argument. My daddy would cut up credit cards, and I never understood that. All I knew was I didn't want no credit when I grew up. It's like whatever
Bless
I
you.
got, it's either gonna be layaway. Layaway was my form of purchasing anything. Layaway and savings account, and that's
Go
how I would
ahead.
buy. But I just appreciated watching y'all work that out, because finances have just kind of ruled my life. So I always get away from it, and I don't. I want trust in when it comes to that, because I don't have it. I have trust issues. But
Well,
thank
bless
you.
you, Miss Coleman. And we'll be praying with you about trust issues. Go ahead, Deidre.
My internet has been shaky. My connection has been shaky, but I just want to say thank you both, to you both for sharing. I actually kind of took some notes in terms of the insurance and all of that. And so I appreciate you all's story. And definitely I had some nuggets to take away to discuss with my hubby.
Oh, good.
All right.
Good.
Yeah,
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
And Deidre, you were saying, I wish my frat brother would have joined too, but all of this is going to go on YouTube anyway. We'll be sure to make sure you get the link and that he gets the link.
Okay.
All right, sis. Bless you.
Any other questions or comments?
Good morning, this is Sister Brown. I just wanted to say I was really helped, and I appreciate you all sharing and being so open about, your finances. Me and Mr. Brown, we have a lot of work to do, and to be, being debt free, and we're close, and that's the
Yep.
whole thing.
Yep.
I told him I don't want to create any new debt,
Right.
and it's like, we're not getting any younger. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So. Right, you want to wrap up some stuff, and then we have grandchildren now. You want to, do different things, whatever. So you want to enjoy life, like she was saying. My mindset was, just a minimum. Let's just, do it just enough to satisfy. But no, but when you do more, you see more improvement, and you feel better about it. So it's like a compromise, but then you give in, and you like it works for our good.
Yes, ma'am. Good point.
Yeah, so thank you so much for that, and I made me even reaching out to y'all, because he need to hear from somebody that knows.
and entrepreneur, Mr. Brown is an entrepreneur, and I know Gemayal and Ashley are entrepreneurs too. So
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the key was I just I trusted God that I know He was gonna take care of us, but then I just trusted Gemayal. I just let him handle all the finances, and then we went from there. Because like I said, at one point it was just like tension in the house whenever we had a conversation about money.
And also too, like, I mean, in our relationship, in our marriage, she trusted me. It's not always the husband. Sometimes it can be the wife. Basically, it's like this: whoever is like, gun ho about finances, or who's better
that's right.
at finances, doesn't matter who's husband or wife. Just whoever either puts the forth effort, or just wants to do it, or is just better at finances. Let them handle the finances, and you trust them. You trust them. In our marriage, my wife trusted me with the finances, and it worked out for us. But for your marriage, it could be your the woman, the wife, could be the one. Like, I'm the one that's gonna we're gonna get this done, and and that's fine. Every marriage is different, but just whoever that person is, if you can try to make it one person at least, for the best, both of y'all can be on the same page, as soon as you can as well. That makes it easier too.
That's right. And I heard what you said. You used the word collaboration, and that's what it's got to be. So you're right. Whoever's the most adept and skilled, and who has the will to do it, because it's not easy handling the family finances. It's quite daunting. So whoever has the will and the skill to do it, that's the person that should do it, whether it's the husband or the wife. And it still has to be a collaboration. So you still have to let the other spouse know what's going on. I mean, we got too many tools right now. One I'm going to throw out there is personal capital. Personal capital. It's a free app. You can load it on your phone, and you can load all of your accounts so that you see everything in one place, whether it's your investment accounts, your checking accounts, your debt accounts, everything in one place, and then you have a rolling trend chart so that you can see your net worth, and you can see it daily, and you can get that pride that Jamal's talking about as you pay off this debt, and then you see your net worth spike up by that debt amount that you no longer have. Mm-hmm. So personal capital, look that up. I highly recommend it, and it's free. Thank you so much again. Oh, God knows we pray for your continued blessings, both spiritually and financially and health-wise. Thank you so much for sharing. Oh, before I get out of here, hey, we support entrepreneurship. You got a beautiful banner behind you. You want to tell us about GOAT?
Okay, just we started a brand called GOAT. It's usually the greatest of all time, but we kind of took a different spin and put God over all things. And so we have different colored shirts with my logo on there. Have a website. I'll just put it in the chat if you want to just check. Moves you move. It's also on my website as well. It's just kind of it talks about a lot of things that we mentioned in this this Sunday school class. So if you would like to know more, you could just pick up the book on my website. And thank you for having us today.
And give us the website address, Ashley.
Okay.
Yeah, she typed it in.
For those that'll be watching from YouTube, they won't be able to see the chat.
It's
for our 12 subscribers.
Hey, we gotta share it. It's www.thegoatvibes.com. That's www.thegoatvibes.com. Thegoatvibes.
And I saw it we see it in the link too, and we'll share it in the notes when we put it up on YouTube as well. All right, go ahead, Queenie. I'm gonna shut up now. Bless y'all.
Thank y'all. This was exactly what I was hoping it would be. I just appreciate your transparency and your testimony, and I just pray that your testimony blesses a lot of people. Y'all are in rare space to be Black and in your 30s and being debt free. There's not too many couples that can say that. So I just thank you for being an inspiration to younger couples as well as older couples as well. And I pray your continued financial blessings as you continue to grow as a couple.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So with that, we're going to open it up for prayer requests and testimonies, if there be any.
Stop recording.